your thoughts like a ghost you can't shake. Carl Jung, the genius who mapped the human psyche, uncovered a shocking truth. They're not just a memory, they're a mirror, reflecting something deep within you. In this video, we dive into Carl Jung's profound wisdom to reveal why someone's always on your mind and how to break free from their grip. Through real-life stories, we'll explore how your unconscious projects hidden parts of yourself, your shadow, your soul's desires, or old wounds into this person, keeping them stuck in your thoughts. Carl Jung believed these aren't random. They're your psyche's way of begging you to look within. By the end, you'll understand what they represent and how to reclaim your peace through Carl Jung's path to wholeness. This isn't just about letting go, it's about discovering who you truly are. So, stick with us to unlock Carl Jung's secrets and transform your inner world. Who's haunting your mind right now? Let's find out why, together. Hit play, because your journey to freedom starts here. Why does someone linger in your thoughts, refusing to fade no matter how hard you try? Carl Jung, the master of the human psyche, believed it's not random. The person haunting your mind isn't just a memory, they're a mirror, reflecting parts of yourself you've buried deep. This is where Carl Jung's concept of projection comes in, a powerful force that shapes why someone stays stuck in your head. In this chapter, we'll explore how projection works, why it traps you, and how to uncover the hidden truths it reveals about you. Let's dive into Carl Jung's wisdom and start unraveling the mystery. Carl Jung taught that our shadow, the parts of ourselves we suppress, like insecurities, desires, or traits we're ashamed of, doesn't stay quiet. Instead, it finds a way out through projection, where we unconsciously assign these hidden qualities to others. That person you can't stop thinking about? They're likely carrying a piece of your shadow, embodying traits you either admire or reject in yourself. It's not about them, it's about what they represent in your psyche. When you project, your mind fixates on them, mistaking them for the source of your feelings, when really, they're a canvas for your inner world. Let's make this real with a story. Meet Emma, a 32-year-old graphic designer who's always played it safe. She's reliable, cautious, and avoids risks. But lately, she can't stop thinking about her co-worker, Tom, who's bold, confident, and a bit reckless. Emma admires his ability to speak his mind, but judges his impulsiveness, calling it irresponsible. Every time Tom pitches a daring idea at work, Emma's heart races as she's drawn to him, yet frustrated by him. Carl Jung would say Emma's obsession isn't about Tom. She's projecting her shadow, the confidence and spontaneity she's suppressed to stay safe. Tom's boldness mirrors what Emma longs for but denies in herself, and her judgment of his recklessness reflects her fear of losing control. Projection isn't always about admiration, it can also reveal what you reject. Think about someone who hurt you, someone you can't stop replaying in your mind. Carl Jung believed that when you dwell on their flaws, their selfishness or betrayal, you're often confronting traits you fear in yourself. For Emma, Tom's recklessness triggers her because she's terrified of making mistakes, a fear she's buried deep. Her fixation on him is her psyche's way of saying, "Look at this part of you." Until she faces it, Tom will keep haunting her thoughts, a living reminder of her unclaimed shadow. Here's another example to bring it home. James, a 28-year-old teacher, can't stop thinking about his ex-friend Mia, who cut him off after a heated argument. Mia was vibrant and charismatic, but also manipulative, using charm to get her way. James replays their fallout, fuming about her selfishness. But Carl Jung would ask, what's James projecting? Deep down, he envies Mia's ability to put herself first, a trait he's always suppressed to be the nice guy. At the same time, he fears his own potential for manipulation, a shadow he refuses to acknowledge. Mia's presence in his mind isn't about herits, his psyche urging him to confront these hidden parts. Carl Jung's insight is profound. The people who occupy your thoughts are mirrors, reflecting what you've disowned. Admiration or resentment toward them points to your shadow qualities you've either idealized or demonized. But here's the trap. Projection keeps you stuck. By focusing on them, you avoid facing yourself. Emma thinks Tom holds the key to her fascination, but it's her own unclaimed boldness. James believes Mia's betrayal defines his pain, but it's his suppressed self-interest. Your mind clings to these people because they're easier to obsess over than the inner work Carl Jung calls for. So, how do you break this cycle? Carl Jung's wisdom points to self-awareness. Start by noticing what draws you to this persona, pushes you away. What traits do they have that stir strong emotions? If you admire their confidence like Emma, ask, where have I suppressed this in myself? If you resent their selfishness like James, ask, do I fear this in me? These questions are your first step to uncovering your shadow. Carl Jung believed that by recognizing what you project, you begin to reclaim those hidden parts, weakening the person's grip on your mind. Try this practical step. Grab a journal and write about the person haunting you. List 3 qualities you love or hate about them. For each, ask, how is this true of me? Be honest, it's not easy to admit you share traits you judge. For Emma, writing about Tom's boldness led her to realize she'd always wanted to take risks but feared failure. By acknowledging this, she started small pitching her own ideas at work, and Tom's presence in her thoughts began to fade. For James, admitting his own desire to prioritize himself helped him set boundaries, reducing Mia's hold over him. Here's a question to reflect on. Who's on your mind right now? What do you love or loathe about them? Maybe it's their courage, their cruelty, or their charm. Whatever it is, Carl Jung would say, it's a clue to your shadower part of you waiting to be seen. Take a moment to think. What's this person showing you about yourself? This isn't just about theme, it's about unlocking the truth within you. As we move forward, we'll explore another reason someone haunts your mind. Carl Jung's concept of anima and animus, the soul images that pull you toward them. This gets even deeper, revealing why some connections feel almost fated. Stick with us, because Carl Jung's wisdom is about to change how you see your thoughts and yourself forever. Why does someone haunt your thoughts, feeling like a piece of your soul you can't let go? Carl Jung's wisdom takes us deeper with his concept of anima and animus, the hidden feminine and masculine energies within us all. These are not just psychological ideas. They're the soul images that shape who we're drawn to, and why certain people feel like they're calling to us from a place beyond reason. If someone's always on your mind, they might embody your anima or animus, pulling you toward a part of yourself you've yet to embrace. In this chapter, we'll uncover how these archetypes work, why they keep you hooked, and how Carl Jung's insights can help you find wholeness. Let's dive in. Carl Jung believed every person carries an unconscious counterpart to their gender. The anima, the feminine energy in men, and the animus, the masculine energy in women. These archetypes are like inner soul guides, representing qualities we often seek outside ourselves as creativity, strength, intuition, or logic. When someone captivates your thoughts, they may embody your anima or animus, reflecting an ideal you're unconsciously chasing. It's not just about them, it's about what they awaken in your psyche. They feel like a missing piece because they mirror a part of your soul you've neglected, urging you toward Carl Jung's ultimate goal, individuation, the process of becoming whole. Let's bring this to life with a story. Meet Mark, a 35-year-old software engineer who's practical and reserved. He's always prioritized logic over emotion, building a stable but predictable life. Yet, he can't stop thinking about his ex, Lily, a free-spirited artist who danced through life with creativity and passion. Mark replays their late-night talks, her infectious laugh, and her fearless pursuit of dreams. He tells himself it's just nostalgia, but Carl Jung would disagree. Lily embodies Mark's anima, the feminine energy he's suppressed his creativity, spontaneity, and emotional depth. Her presence in his thoughts isn't about her. It's his psyche calling him to integrate these qualities, to live more fully as his true self. The anima and animus don't always appear as romantic ideals. They can show up in friends, mentors, or even strangers. For women, the animus might manifest as someone with strength, ambition, or intellect. Take Sarah, a 29-year-old nurse who's nurturing but struggles with assertiveness. She's obsessed with her colleague David, a decisive doctor who commands respect. Sarah admires his confidence but resents his occasional arrogance. Carl Jung would say David reflects Sarah's animus, The masculine energy, she's yet to claim her ability to stand firm and lead. Her fixation on him is her psyche's plea to embrace this inner strength, not to chase David himself. Carl Jung's insight is profound. When someone haunts your mind, they often carry the energy of your anima or animus, making them feel fated or mythical. This is why certain connections feel electric, like they hold a deeper meaning. But here's the catch. This pull can trap you. By fixating on them, you're outsourcing your wholeness, believing they complete you when the real work lies within. Mark thinks Lily's creativity is the answer to his longing, but it's his own unexpressed artistry. Sarah sees David's confidence as magnetic, but it's her own untapped power. Your mind clings to these people because they're easier to dream about than the journey of integrating your soul's calling. This dynamic isn't just about attraction, it can stir conflict. If your anima or animus is undeveloped, you might project its flaws onto others. For Mark, Lily's irresponsibility frustrates him, but it's really his fear of losing control, a shadow within his anima. For Sarah, David's arrogance annoys her, reflecting her own suppressed assertiveness she judges as too much. Carl Jung taught that these tensions are signals. The person on your mind is a mirror, showing both the light and shadow of your inner archetype. Until you claim these qualities, they'll keep haunting you through them. So, how do you break free? Carl Jung's path to individuation starts with self-reflection. Notice what draws you to this person. What qualities make them magnetic? If it's creativity, like Mark's pull to Lily, ask, where have I ignored this in myself? If it's strength, like Sarah's fascination with David, ask, how can I embody this power? These questions help you identify your anima or animus and begin integrating it. Carl Jung believed that by embracing these inner energies, you reduce the person's hold over your thoughts because you no longer need them to feel whole. Try this practical step. Write a letter to the person haunting you, but don't send it. Describe what you love about them, their energy, their traits. Then, rewrite it as a letter to yourself, claiming those qualities. For Mark, writing about Lily's creativity led him to enroll in a painting class, reconnecting with his anima. Lily's grip on his mind weakened as he lived more authentically. For Sarah, acknowledging David's strength inspired her to speak up at work, embracing her animus. Her obsession with him faded as she owned her power. This exercise isn't about forgetting the myths, about finding yourself. Here's a question to ponder. Who's on your mind? Do they feel like a missing piece of you, creative, strong or free? Maybe they spark a longing you can't explain. Carl Jung would say they're your anima or animus, calling you to wholeness. Take a moment. What quality in them do you crave in yourself? This is your psyche's invitation to grow, not to chase them. Next, we'll explore another reason someone haunts you. Carl Jung's concept of complexes, the emotional wounds that keep them locked in your mind. This gets even more personal, revealing why old pain fuels your thoughts. Stick with us, because Jung's wisdom is guiding you toward freedom, one revelation at a time. Why does someone linger in your thoughts, pulling you back to emotions you thought you'd left behind? Carl Jung's concept of complexes offers a powerful answer. These are not just fleeting feelings, they're emotional triggers rooted in past wounds that keep you tethered to someone, even when you want to let go. If a person haunts your mind, they may have activated a complex, stirring up old pain like abandonment, rejection, or unworthiness. In this chapter, we'll uncover how complexes work, why they trap you in a cycle of obsession, and how Carl Jung's wisdom can help you heal and break free. Let's dive deeper into your psyche. Carl Jung described complexes as clusters of emotions, memories, and beliefs tied to significant experiences, often from childhood. They're like landmines in your unconscious, waiting to be touched. When someone triggers a complex, say, by leaving you, criticizing you, or making you feel unseen, your mind latches onto them, replaying their actions as if solving a puzzle. But it's not about them. They've simply pressed on a wound you've carried for years, and your psyche is using them to signal unresolved pain. That person on your mind? They're a messenger, pointing to a part of you that needs healing to move toward Carl Jung's goal of individuation, becoming your true self. Let's bring this to life with a story. Meet Sarah, a 30-year-old writer who can't stop thinking about her friend Ava, who ghosted her after a minor disagreement. Sarah replays their last talk, wondering what she did wrong. She feels a gnawing ache, like she's been abandoned all over again. Carl Jung would say Ava triggered Sarah's abandonment complex, a wound from childhood when her father left without explanation. Every time Sarah feels left behind, this complex flares, making Ava's absence feel like a personal failure. Sarah's obsession isn't about Ava's, her psyche begging her to heal the pain of abandonment she's carried since she was a child. Complexes don't always stem from trauma. They can form from subtler moments. Take James, a 27-year-old barista who's fixated on his co-worker Mia, who dismissed his ideas during a team meeting. James keeps ruminating, feeling small and unheard. Carl Jung would point to James's inferiority complex, rooted in years of being overlooked by his high-achieving family. Mia's rejection didn't create this wound, it activated it. Her words echoed the criticism James internalized as a kid, making her a symbol of his unhealed pain. His mind clings to her, not because she's special, but because his complex demands resolution. Carl Jung's insight is eye-opening. The people who haunt your thoughts often trigger complexes, tying them to wounds you've buried. This explains why you might obsess over someone who hurt you, replaying their actions like a broken record. It's not about finding closure with them, it's about addressing the pain they've stirred. Sarah thinks understanding Ava's ghosting will ease her ache, but it's her childhood abandonment that needs attention. James believes proving himself to Mia will quiet his thoughts, but it's his sense of inferiority that requires healing. Your mind fixates because these wounds are easier to project onto someone else than to face within. But complexes aren't just pain, they're opportunities. Carl Jung believed they're your psyche's way of guiding you toward growth. When someone triggers a complex, they're shining a light on a wound you can heal, a step toward individuation. The catch? Ignoring the complex keeps you trapped. By avoiding the pain, you let it control your thoughts, keeping that person on your mind. Sarah's refusal to face her abandonment keeps Ava's ghosting alive in her head. James's denial of his inferiority fuels his obsession with Mia. Carl Jung would urge you to listen to your psyche, not run from it, because healing your wounds is how you reclaim your freedom. So, how do you break this cycle? Carl Jung's approach starts with self-awareness. Notice the emotions this person stirs. Do they make you feel rejected, unworthy, or abandoned? These are clues to your complexes. Ask yourself, when have I felt this before? Trace the feeling back to your past maybe. A parent's neglect, a friend's betrayal, or a moment of shame. This isn't about blame. It's about understanding the root. Sarah connected her pain with Ava's pain to her father's absence, realizing her obsession was about old grief. James linked Mia's dismissal to his family's criticism, seeing his fixation as a call to build self-worth. Try this practical step. Journal about the person on your mind and the emotions they trigger. Write, when I think of them I feel, then ask, when did I first feel this way? Be gentle, this can be heavy. Next, give yourself what the wound needs. If it's abandonment, like Sarah's, practice self-soothing. I am here for myself. If it's inferiority, like James's, affirm your value. My voice matters. Sarah started therapy to process her childhood loss, and Ava's grip on her thoughts weakened. James began sharing his ideas confidently, and Mia faded from his focus. These actions don't erase the wound, but start healing it, loosening the complex's hold. Carl Jung also taught that complexes lose power when you face them consciously. Instead of replaying what they did or said, shift to what they revealed about you. Did they trigger rejection? That's a wound to nurture. Did they spark envy? That's a strength to claim. By working with your complex, you're not just freeing yourself from this person, you're growing toward wholeness. Your mind clings to them because they're a shortcut to healing, but the real path is through you. Let's get personal. Who's haunting your mind? What feelings do they stir? Rejection, loneliness, inadequacy. Maybe their actions cut deep, echoing an old pain you can't name. Carl Jung would say it's a complex, a wound your psyche wants to heal. Take a second to reflect. When did this pain first appear in your life? This is your chance to start the healing, not just the obsession. As we move on, we'll explore the final piece of Carl Jung's wisdom: how to break free through individuation, integrating your shadow, anima, animus, and dreams complexes to reclaim your thoughts. This is where you take back your power and find true freedom. Stick with us, because Carl Jung's path is leading you to liberation, one wound at a time. Why does someone haunt your thoughts, holding your mind captive despite your efforts to move on? Carl Jung's profound concept of individuation offers the ultimate path to freedom. Individuation is the journey of becoming your true, whole self by integrating your shadow, anima, animus, and complexes, the very forces we've explored that keep someone stuck in your head. If a person lingers in your psyche, they're not the problem. They're a mirror reflecting parts of you that need attention. In this final chapter, we'll uncover how to use Carl Jung's wisdom to break free from their grip, reclaim your thoughts, and step into a life of authenticity and peace. Let's embark on this transformative journey together. Carl Jung believed that the people who haunt us are messengers from our unconscious, urging us toward individuation. They don't stay in your mind by chance. They're tied to unresolved parts of your psyche. The shadow you've suppressed, the anima, animus you've sought outside yourself, or the complexes that carry old wounds. Letting go isn't about erasing them or forcing yourself to forget. It's about understanding what they represent and reclaiming those parts of yourself. Individuation means stopping the search for answers in others and finding them within, turning obsession into self-discovery. This is how you free your mind and heart. Let's make this real with a story. Meet Emma, the graphic designer from Chapter 1, who couldn't stop thinking about her bold co-worker Tom. Through Carl Jung's lens, Emma realized Tom reflected her shadow, her suppressed confidence, and triggered a complex tied to her fear of failure. But knowing this wasn't enough. Emma needed to act. Carl Jung's individuation requires integrating these insights into your life. Emma started journaling about Tom's traits, asking, "How can I embody this boldness?" She pitched a risky design at work, something she'd always avoided. As she embraced her confidence, Tom's presence in her thoughts faded. He was no longer a mirror she'd claimed the reflection for herself. Individuation isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong process of facing your unconscious. For someone haunting your mind, they might represent multiple layers of your psyche. Take Mark from Chapter 2, who obsessed over his ex, Lily, the embodiment of his anima, his creative, spontaneous side. Mark's fixation wasn't just about her artistry. It stirred a complex from his rigid upbringing, where emotions were dismissed. To break free, Mark followed Carl Jung's advice. He painted again, reconnecting with his anima, and confronted his fear of vulnerability through therapy. As he integrated these parts, Lily's hold weakened. She wasn't the answer, he was. Carl Jung's insight is liberating. The person on your mind is a catalyst, not the goal. They're in your thoughts because your psyche is using them to point you inward. Sarah from Chapter 3 fixated on her friend Ava, who ghosted her, triggering an abandonment complex. Sarah's individuation meant facing this wound. She wrote a letter to her younger self, promising, "I'll never leave you." She also practiced self-care, nurturing the love she sought from others. As Sarah healed, Ava's ghosting lost its power. Individuation turned Sarah's obsession into a journey of self-love, freeing her mind from the past. The trap many fall into is resisting this work. Carl Jung warned that what we suppress controls us. Trying to forget someone by distracting yourself, new relationships, endless scrolling, or denial only strengthens their grip. Why? Because your unconscious won't let go until you've learned its lesson. Emma could have ignored Tom's reflection, but her shadow would have found another mirror. Mark could have buried his longing for Lily, but his anima would have resurfaced elsewhere. Sarah could have blamed Ava, but her complex would have kept her stuck. Individuation demands courage. Face the mirror, claim the reflection, and grow. So, how do you start this journey? Carl Jung's approach centers on shadow work, a practical way to integrate your unconscious. Begin by identifying what this person represents. Grab a journal and write, "When I think of them, I feel." List their traits admired or resented and ask, "How are these true of me?" Next, explore the emotions they stir. Do they spark fear, longing, or shame? Trace these to their roots, like Sarah did with abandonment. Then, take action. If it's a shadow trait, like Emma's boldness, practice it in small ways. If it's an animus quality, like Mark's creativity, nurture it. If it's a complex, like Sarah's wound, seek healing through therapy, writing, or self-compassion. Here's a step-by-step guide. Reflect. Write about the person. What traits or emotions stand out? What do they mirror in you? Trace. Ask, when have I felt this before? Connect it to your past shadow, anima, animus, or complex. Act. Embody the trait, like boldness, or heal the wound, like abandonment. Start small, try a new hobby, set a boundary, or affirm your worth. Repeat. Individuation is ongoing. Each step weakens their hold and strengthens you. This process isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Emma's first pitch wasn't flawless, but it was hers. Mark's paintings were messy, but they were honest. Sarah's self-love faltered, but she kept trying. Carl Jung believed every step toward integration brings you closer to wholeness, reducing the power of those who haunt you. As you claim your shadow, anima, animus, and heal your complexes, you no longer need them as mirrors. Your thoughts become yours again. Let's make it personal. Who's haunting your mind? What do they reflect? A suppressed trait, a soul's desire, an old wound? Maybe it's their confidence you crave, their betrayal you replay, or their absence you fear. Carl Jung would say they're your psyche's call to individuation. Take a moment. What's one step you can take to claim this reflection? This isn't just about letting go, it's about becoming you. In our outro, we'll tie it all together, showing how Carl Jung's wisdom transforms your thoughts into a path to freedom. This is where you take the final leap to reclaim your mind and live authentically. Stick with us, because your liberation is just one step away. We've just unraveled why someone haunts your mind, guided by Carl Jung's profound wisdom, from projection revealing your shadow, to anima, animus calling your soul, complexes stirring old wounds, and individuation offering freedom. You now see the truth. This person isn't just a memory, they're a mirror reflecting your path to wholeness. Carl Jung taught us that the thoughts that linger are your psyche's plea to look within, to heal, and to become your true self. Today, you're ready to break free. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life. Don't let someone else hold the key to your peace." Start your journey of individuation. Now face your shadow. Embrace your soul's energy. Heal your wounds. Every step you take reclaims your thoughts and builds a life of authenticity. You're not here to chase ghosts. You're here to shine as you. Who's haunting your mind? What did this video reveal about you? Share your story in the comments, we'd love to hear it. If Carl Jung's wisdom sparked a shift, hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Jung Psyche Hub for more transformative insights. Click the bell to join our journey, because your path to wholeness starts here. Take that first step today. Your mind, your heart, your peace are waiting to be reclaimed. Let's do this together.